Hey, what's up, Toe Lions fans? Oh, man. Sometimes a thing goes live when you ain't expected it to go live. But the Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats and not static, whatever you do. Make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we got news. And we've got things to get into. Lions players pulling up sick from the Pro Bowl. Injuries that are supposed to be there are the reasons that they can't go to the Pro Bowl. Undisclosed injuries, I don't think that means that they're injured. I think that means that they just don't want to go. So we did get our new OC. All right, what up, though? We got some things to get into. I did do a video already, I think it was yesterday, about the potential of John Morton getting hired. And he is officially hired. There were some things that they said about him. The reason that he was fired from the Jets was because, and we just getting right into it, we just getting right cracking, was because he didn't want to run the football. Now, there's an issue with that. I saw, let's see, I'm still not seeing it as official, but let me see if I can pull up the Lions Twitter. Let's see, because I'm like I said, I'm not seeing anything official, but if it is official, it is official. So the question is, hold on, I'm getting. Okay, it was. I had a Jets beat writer that I was trying to get some information from, but he just started the Jets beat in 2022. So he said he was covering the Dolphins in 2017, so he can't tell me anything. So I guess he'll be covering the Jets, and we can ask him periodically how AG is doing if you guys want to know about that. But the thing with Johnny Morton, he's familiar with the Detroit Lions. Especially, there are some things Dan Campbell said that there are some things that he did when he was here in 2022 that they kept in the offense. So the question of, is he better than Ben Johnson? I have no idea. The only cause like I said, there is cause for pause. There is cause for concern about what Ben Johnson or what Johnny Morton, okay, he's not the Johnny Morton that was the wide receiver. He's the Johnny Morton who's the coach. There was some cause for concern with his philosophies, but if you look at the players that he had at the time that he was the Jets head coach, there was a random Jets fan on Twitter that was basically like pleasantly surprised at what he was able to do with the cast of characters that he had and the offensive line that he had. Didn't have a whole lot to work with, but Josh McCown, Bilal Powell, and Robbie Anderson had their most productive seasons of their career out of him. As while they were being coached by him. I don't know that that's a huge accomplishment, but it just shows that with less talent, he can do more. So you would expect that with more talent, he can do even more. Apparently he was upset about, he got a bad rap in New York. He felt like Todd Bowles firing him wasn't the way to go. Make sure y'all smash that like button. We got 15 people in here. We got 5 likes. Come on, smash the like button for your boy. But the thing about that is, if you got Sonic and Knuckles in the backfield and you're coming to there now, look, let's not just go there and say, oh, it's common sense, it's logical. No. Because we had a man named Barry Sanders. And we had a coach come in here. His name was Bobby Ross. And Bobby Ross said, I think Barry needs a fullback. Barry had never played with a fullback in his career. And Bobby Ross came in and said, I think he needs a fullback. So now, is it likely, because Bobby Ross, again, has never, since that debacle in Detroit, has never coached in the NFL again. Now, as a head coach, for sure. I don't know if he had any coordinator experience. I don't know what. As a head coach, he never had another job after being fired by the Detroit Lions. Okay? I don't think that Johnny is going to come in here and do the same thing. I don't think he's going to look at Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and be like, less carries is what they need, right? I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to look at the fact that in the 3 losses that we had this season, Jared Goff passed for an average of 51 times. Okay, not 51 yards, 51 attempts. I don't think he's going to look and see 50 or more. That's what we need from Jared Goff. So we've got Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell has his philosophy. Even the hiring of Shep. Dan Campbell likes the philosophy of playing man coverage and bringing the pressure, manufacturing the pressure, whether it's blitz or whatever the case may be. He's still going to want to dial it up. So there is a system, and we talked about this before. There is a system of how things are going to be done in Detroit. I compared them to the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots lost all types of coordinators all the time, but there was a system in place. If you came into New England, and obviously they weren't really losing offensive coordinators because Josh McDaniels was there. The hell? We're here to give you great NFL. Okay. I don't know what happened there. So they weren't losing offensive coordinators because, Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator, but they were losing defensive coordinators. They were losing assistants and things of this nature. But the system was the system. The standard was the standard. And I think that you are going to have the same situation with the Detroit Lions going forward. And then also you take Hank Fraley and you promote him to run game coordinator. Why do that if you're not going to run the ball? So I don't think that we're going to lose the ability to run the football. I don't think that, hell, we don't even know if Johnny Morton is going to be calling the plays. Okay? We don't know if he's going to be calling the plays. We don't know what the dynamic is going to be yet. We don't know anything about it. We just know that Dan Campbell spoke highly of him. We know that Tanner Engstrand was supposedly being groomed for the position. And I heard someone say that they had a source. And I'm not quoting the source because I don't know the source. But I just heard them say that they had a source that said that it's not his football mind that's not ready. Maybe his personality, they don't think he can do it. He may not be the guy that can control a locker room. Or I don't want to say command a locker room, right? He just may not be a commanding presence. So when you're not a commanding presence and you've got these grown men looking at you for leadership and guidance and you're kind of meek, then maybe that it's just not, it's not what you need. And I don't know. And I'm not saying that I can confirm or deny that. All I know is that the Detroit Lions have brought in Johnny Morton as their offensive coordinator. Again, I still am waiting for the official. I'm waiting for it to be announced on Lions Twitter or something. All right. And we're going to get into some of these things, but that's what it is. So Johnny Morton, it looks like he's here. Again, I haven't seen the official word on the Lions Twitter. However, any people who are Bears fans or Commanders fans, if you have messages that you would like to be read, feel free to drop in a super chat of $5 or more. Because Broski Bear is here, we're gonna start him off at $5. Anybody else is $10. This is a Lions podcast. Okay, so if you want to get your ish off, you need to, because we're not finna sit up here and argue with you now. If you want to get your ish off, put your money where your mouth is. That's all. All right, let me welcome everybody in the chat. We've got our median man. What up, though? Kane Press is here. Jody Carithers is here. As I said, Broski Bear is here. Let's see. Mr. Morale is here. What up, though? Brent DeWitt is here. Tactical Spork is here. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? All right. Now, it's fitting, because I wanted to talk about this. It's fitting that Broski Bear is here. Because let me tell you, when I say that the Bears fans were coming for me all weekend, and I didn't send for none of them. J-Rod is here. What up, though? I didn't send for a single one of them, but they was coming for me all weekend. All right, Jay Cruz is here. Look, and let me say this. There was a tweet. I think he was midway. Some dude on Twitter, verified Bears creator or fan or whatever he is, drew DJ Moore as Shadow the Hedgehog. Bro, Bears fans, if you can't see that you want to be the Lions so goddamn bad, I don't know what to tell you. Get out of my comments, get out of my mentions, talking to me about how I should feel about Ben Johnson going to you, and you talking to me about the players that you have. I don't give a damn about the players that you have. I don't give two damns. If someone has a third damn for me not to give, you could throw it in there as well. The Detroit Lions are in the city of Detroit. That means it's Detroit versus everybody. The meaning of that is basically, if you are not with us, you are against us. Ben Johnson is not with us. He is against us. Antoine Randall is not with us. He is against us. That is it. Now, do I wish any of these men, okay, and I said men, right? Because I want to get to the human aspect. Do I wish them failure in their lives? Do I wish any ill intent, anything bad on them personally as human beings? No. But for me not to wish you well when you are in my division is par for the course. It is par for the course. When I say Ben Johnson, if you bring your wife and children into Detroit, when you guys come to Detroit to play, we will boo them mercilessly, does not mean that I want any physical harm to come to them or anything of that nature. This is about sports. I thanked Ben Johnson for all that he has done here. I did that. I recognize and realize all the things that he has done, and I am grateful to him for doing them. But when you go to the Chicago Bears, you are officially the enemy. That is it. And for the Bears fans that are all in my stuff and this is coming, if y'all don't understand that, y'all just don't understand that. I don't know what to tell you. I had one, and this was the tip of the iceberg for me. Oh, I was about to root for y'all, but y'all got too. I don't give a damn if you were going to root. I didn't ask you to root for me. Bears fan, Vikings fan, Packers fan, Cowboys fan. I didn't ask for you to root for my team because you would not find me rooting for yours. I'm not sitting up here trying to trade rooting interests with you. I'm not sitting up here like, hey, man, I was going to root for your team. You should root for my team. Keep your bandwagon ass to yourself. Keep it to yourself. I don't give a damn. You're not welcome here. Okay, if you are a Bears fan and you want to root for the Lions, your application is denied. Okay? Now, if you are a Bears fan that wants to defect and you want to get away from the Bears, you want to denounce the Bears and come to the Lions, okay, we can talk about that. But I don't need your sympathy rooting. I don't need any of that. Because just last year, y'all were calling us a poverty franchise. When y'all drafted Caleb Williams and thought that y'all was going to go to the Super Bowl, you were calling us a poverty franchise and you thought you was going to win the North and all this. Now y'all want to tuck tail? Now y'all want to tuck tail and say, well, we was going to root for y'all, but y'all was getting a little bit too cocky. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about. Keep it to yourself. Brother, if you want the Lions to win just so we could represent the NFC North, and then keep it to yourself. I do not care. I do not care. Listen, I'm going to tell you what, personally, I will never root for the 3 other teams in the NFC North. I don't give a damn. Okay, I am not a Bears fan. I am not a Packers fan. I am not a Vikings fan. I am a Detroit Lions fan. Okay? Now, does that, again, personally, as a human being, I don't hate you. I don't even know you. I have worked, and I'm going to tell you this. I have worked in close conjunction with people from Ohio. And if you know me, you know how big a deal that is. I have worked in close conjunction with Oh Hell No State fans. One of the valued members of this chat is an Oh Hell No State fan. And I do not hate him personally. I hate the team he roots for. I hate the state that he comes from. But if you are a person, just a human being, you can't help where you were born. It's not your fault you were born in Oh Hell No. So I don't have any extreme prejudice against you and I want to see something bad happen. I don't have any of that. All I'm saying is I don't rock with you on the football field. I don't. And if you're the coach of a team I don't rock with, then I don't rock with you, coach. That's the bottom line. And for any of you fans that don't understand that, I can't help you. I just can't. But that's what I have to say to you people that are all in my comments and all in my mentions talking crazy about how we shouldn't this and we shouldn't that. When you begged Ben Johnson, you said, Ben Johnson, I watched y'all's podcast. Y'all were begging Ben Johnson, please come home. I got beans and bologna. Yeah, that's what y'all was doing with Ben Johnson. That's what y'all please come home. Ben Johnson, please be the coach of the Chicago Bears, because we have to look to the Detroit Lions and their franchise to get out of the gutter. And this is what I told one of them. I said, listen, all this crowing you doing, if Ben Johnson comes in there and makes you a respectable franchise again, it's because we allow Ben Johnson to go and coach the Chicago Bears. And we allow Ben Johnson to go ahead and offer Antoine Randall a chance to go home, because Antoine Randall is from Chicago. Okay? He's from Illinois. He's a native. But you had to come to us, to the Detroit Lions, to grab people who could help you. If you are successful, then yes, we are responsible for your success. Because without Ben Johnson coaching for the Detroit Lions, y'all wouldn't know who the hell he was. And that's the facts. But when you saw the job that he did with this offense, you thought This was the man that was perfect for the job, and you and your podcasters, you and your creators were begging that man to come to Chicago. So miss me with all of that. We should this and we should feel this way and that way. Stop it. Stop it, Bears fans. Stop it. All right. Let me get to y'all in the chat. Brent DeWitt says this is MCDC's way of saying that he's not promoting anybody in-house that he don't think is ready. I like this hire. Why? So Tanner Engstrand didn't get promoted, so he wasn't ready. Shep got promoted, so he believes he's ready. Andrew Isham says, what up and why are we sinking? The sinking feeling, Andrew, is the Detroit Lions players were, like Alex Anzalone was like, I ain't watching TV. I'm not going to be on socials, catching up on some reading or whatever. As far as championship weekend, we got, players opting out of the Pro Bowl due to undisclosed injuries like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell. The injuries are undisclosed, and so Taylor Decker gets to go. It's his first time, I think, going as an alternate to Penei Sewell. It's just that type of thing. It's the sinking feeling. It's starting to sink in that the Detroit Lions are not going to the Super Bowl. That we're going to get into this too. We're going to get into this. After I get to all of your comments, we're going to get into the conversation about the Washington Commanders and what happened there. I'm not here to crow. I'm not here to crow or toot horns or anything of that nature because we didn't win ultimately. But did they deserve to be there? It didn't look like it. It didn't look like they belonged. It didn't look like they were in the same class. It didn't even look like they were reading out of the same books. But we're going to get into it. Let's see. Richard Noggin. Okay, I like that. Jody Carruthers says, I'm really tired, but other than that, I'm doing pretty good. So she's feeling good. To wish Ben Johnson well is to say root for the Bears to win. Exactly, 100%. Let's see. J. Rod says, "Get that super chat going, boo boo." Exactly. I'm not reading none of his chats. Broski's Bears first name on the internet since Thanksgiving. First time on the internet since Thanksgiving talking about someone hiding. Exactly. You remember that tactical sport. Chef gave me the Boondocks vibe. The way the Commanders lost made me mad. I was over it till they got destroyed. Bluegrass Wolverine, I didn't think they had a chance against the Eagles. The Eagles were formidable yesterday, though. I know Brandon Graham. If the Lions can't get it this year, I'm supporting Eagles. Can't stand KC. Eagles came out aggressive. Defense was on point. Defense wins championships. O-line was popping too. Correct. Tactical Spork says, Broski Bear, everyone has been searching high and low for you since Thanksgiving with not a peep. Please stop. Yeah, I haven't seen him since it was 35-14 in the Titans game, and he left talking about we were going to win because it was rigged. He didn't stay on for the whole 52-14 shellacking. I hate that Randall L. left for the Bears. Yeah, I do too. Yes, please let the Bears fans tell us how to win the North SMH. LOTM. Tefna. Interesting OC hire from the outside. Right. All right. So let's get to the situation with the Washington Commanders. I made a video after the game. I was going to go live, but I didn't know if people would watch It wasn't planned, and it was hot in here. So I didn't want to put on the Motor City Don P gear and be sitting in here. It was over 100 degrees yesterday. It is 31 degrees less today. And it hasn't even gotten to that. So right now it's probably about 35, 40 degrees less. The Washington Commanders found out that you can't turn the football over 4 times, not create any turnovers, and win a game. Not in the playoffs, you can't. So here's where I'm going with this, and I just want you guys in the chat to tell me, are we allowed to criticize players? Because I saw some things. I saw some things this weekend, some threads. I saw whoever's running the content over there at Woodward Sports. I saw some interesting topics after watching the Commanders get trounced. I mean, they let up 55 points, for God's sakes. How do you let up 55 points with your magical genie rookie? Okay, let's just start there. But it was saying that these two, and it was a picture of Jared Goff and Ben Johnson, these two need to be questioned about the stunt that they pulled last week. And I was baffled by this. So Tactical Sports says, didn't even watch either game. I checked the scores 3 times, once in the Philadelphia game. I'm not going to lie to you. My schedule got completely messed up yesterday because it was a public holiday here, and I didn't realize that. So I went out to work early in the morning, and it was like, all right, I got to come home. And then so I fell asleep in the last 5 minutes of the Bills and Chiefs game. So I didn't see the Dalton Kincaid drop or whatever. But if we're allowed to criticize players, then I just want to know, if you watched that game, the NFC Championship game, did it not look in any way familiar to what we did when we played against the Commanders? Lots of turnovers, no wins, right? And then it makes you even, I guess, more upset because you saw how they got absolutely blown out. It was 32 points. Well, hell, we turned the ball over more times than them and lost by much less points. We lost by 14. They lost by 32. So, I mean, it makes you upset that you know that you were the better team. It makes you upset that you know that the Washington Commanders had no business in that game. They had no business fighting to represent the NFC in the championship game. But do you think that this defensive line that we had could have beaten or could have stopped Saquon and Jalen Hurts? I don't know. It would have been a tough task with all the injuries that we had. But my whole thing is all of the Goff narratives, whether you are a Goff gooner or a Goff slappy, whether you're a Goff hater or whether you're someone like myself who started off as a Goff hater, so to speak, and now is a Goff guy who recognizes and understands evolution, right? Players are allowed to evolve. That's what you hope for players to do. When you draft a player high, you don't want him to remain what he is. You want him to be better, right? If you draft a number 1 overall quarterback coming out of college, you want him to continue his ascension And you want him to be great. You want him to be all-time great because you've drafted him number 1. Is he all-time great coming in? No. Is Jaden Daniels all-time great coming in? Like if you said Jaden Daniels ends his career now, he was an all-time great player. You can't even say that because guess what? For all of the hype that Jaden Daniels got, Bo Nix had better stats. He had more passing yards. He had more passing touchdowns. Oh, and he ran the ball a fair amount as well. So what I want to do, what I want to use my platform to do is to bring together the two factions. Okay? Because I'm in the middle. I want to bring together the two factions. I want us to be able to say, without people calling me Goff-phobic, okay, I want us to be able to say that Goff had a bad game. And it's okay to say, I want people to be okay with saying that he had a bad game. Because it doesn't mean that he's a bad quarterback. Because it doesn't mean that he's a choke artist. It doesn't mean he can't get it done in the playoffs. Guess what? The NFC Championship game was in no way, shape, or form on Goff. Goff didn't turn the football over at all in the NFC Championship game. He did not. He didn't drop those passes on 4th down and 3rd down. He didn't drop them. He didn't not throw good passes. Those were perfect passes. They hit Josh Reynolds in the hands. Josh Reynolds wasn't outstretched in the middle. The ball wasn't thrown behind him. No, perfect passes. He just dropped them. So it was okay to say that Goff had nothing to do with losing to the San Francisco 49ers. Goff did not lose to Purdy, right? The rest of the team let Goff down. It's okay to say that, right? So why is it not okay to say that Goff didn't have a good game? And if you are a Goff slappy or whatever, talk to me about this because I want to understand. Like I said, I saw some things. I saw some threads going around on Twitter and people were jumping off the ledge. Goff has no blame at all. I'm like, well, I'm comfortable with saying that Goff had a bad game. I'm not saying, again, not saying he can't do it in the playoffs. Not saying he can't get it done. Not saying the moment was too big. Not saying anything negative. Only speaking the truth so that we can heal as a fan base and move on. No one is sitting here telling you to trade Goff. No one is sitting here telling you to do any of these things. I just want everyone to be on the same page that it wasn't his finest moment. That's it. That's all I want. When you come away from this situation today, if you are not one of those people that is able to admit that, it doesn't mean if you admit it, it doesn't mean that you're saying anything negative about Jared Goff. Right? It's not even the playoff Lamar thing. Because I was so ready for Lamar, once we lost, I was so ready for Lamar to prove everyone wrong. Right? I was so ready for Lamar to have a great playoff run this year. Right? Because I love Lamar. And the narrative that he should be a receiver or he should be a running back pisses me off. Because you watch this man year in and year out, and he has improved, just like Goff. He has improved, just like Josh Allen. He has improved. Josh Allen wasn't this. Josh Allen wasn't a quarterback that takes care of the ball and doesn't put it in harm's way, which he's largely been this season. Right? So all of these quarterbacks have just gotten better and better and better. But when a person has a bad game, it's just a bad game. The only thing is that when it happens in the playoffs, you can't recover from it until next season. That's all. So I'm not calling for anybody's head. I'm not telling you that he can't do it. I'm not telling you we can't win a Super Bowl with Goff, because I know we definitely can get to the Super Bowl with Goff. Because Goff has gotten to a Super Bowl before. Goff has gotten to NFC championships before with 2 different franchises. Goff had a phenomenal season this year. His season was phenomenal. It was excellent. His regular season was excellent. It was a historic season. Historic. Like he made history himself with his own stats, with his yards, his quarterback rating, his completion percentage. He was historic. Right? He even had a perfect game. The jersey is in the Hall of Fame. First time in the history of the NFL. That many passes to go 18 for 18. So there is no hate. There is no hate. All right. Let's see what y'all are saying here about this situation. Commanders totally exposed. Right. Not sure I want to watch Travis Swift in the Super Bowl again. I'm only watching the Super Bowl because the Eagles are in it. Should have been the Bills. Rigged. Watch NFC Championship. That game was brutal. I wanted to see Daniels get sacked. I checked KCC versus Bills score on the internet. Sickening. It's all right. It's okay to miss games because it's fake. Rewatch it later at your own will. Our media man says he's Goff-phobic. As long as you're not a Goff fruitcake, you good. All right. Nope. If the Eagles played the way they did yesterday, but you never know. I just wanted Lions to reach the NFC Championships. Hashtag speculative. Broski Bear again, up in here on this channel. Get your ish off, no problem. If you want me to read it, super chat me. I don't mean like anybody can send super chats. I'm not trying to make that. And remember, we do have a goal of the 20 super chats. We still need 14 more, but to do the live mock draft. But listen, it's just that if you want me to read your comment and you're not a fan of my Detroit Lions, you must pay for it. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Because Caleb was too busy getting sacked. Nah, Ben Johnson sold that game. You seen the don't run, it plays. I mean, we keep saying that, but then Dan Campbell came to the podium after the game and said, we've done that 50 times this year. They were going to go, if you didn't, all right. So let's play this game. And I know the cute plays are cute until they don't work. Did y'all see in yesterday's game, if you watched the game, did you see when I think it was Frankie Louvu came through and grabbed Jalen Hurts' arm? Did you see how tightly he squeezed the ball and didn't drop it? Right? So let's say Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't trip on his break. He's on Bobby Wagner. That's a very favorable matchup. Amon-Ra St. Brown being covered by a linebacker, no matter who the linebacker is a very favorable matchup. That's the matchup that we got on that third down play. And he slipped out of his break, which was startling to Jared Goff. If he doesn't slip and he catches the football and we go up 14-3, is anybody worrying about Ben Johnson right now? That's just the question that I'm asking. Because we ultimately, just like yesterday, when I saw the Commanders go down 14-3 to the Eagles, I said, this game is over. The same way that I said, if we went down and went up 14-3, the game would have been over in Detroit. So without Amon-Ra St. Brown stumbling, starting the downfall of that game and whatever, right now, we don't know about today because we don't know if we would have beat the Eagles. But yesterday, Ben Johnson wasn't even the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Now, had we lost the NFC Championship game and then Ben Johnson went ahead and accepted the job right away, we probably have a little bit more venom and vitriol for him, right? So I don't know. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Goff also has well over twice as many wins as Caleb, but who's counting? I mean, Caleb only has 1 year. He can't have. Goff really screwed up, but those illegal hits by Luvu hurt Lions bad. # bone calls. I get it. So it was Vegas. Okay, cool. Mark Andrews did mess up in that Ravens game. However, I mean, if we're going to say it, Lamar did turn the ball over twice. I'm keeping the same energy for Lamar, right? Ravens didn't lose because they wanted to. It was because they had to, because Vegas. Gotcha. Trade Hooker, get Joe Milton, let him sit behind Goff a few years, or one, let him learn he is 4+ years younger than Hooker. So why do you think that the Patriots want Hooker? If they have a quarterback that's young that they can develop behind their starting quarterback they've already found, why would they trade Hooker? What would be the point of that? That's the question. Campbell's not going to admit it. Obviously, no more coaching interviews till offseason at NFL. Ben Johnson threw that game. Well, I was talking about this year. Okay. All right. So that's just part of the conversation that I wanted to have. I just wanted to know where we were. And if you come across this later and you're a Goff slappy and you want to unsubscribe because you feel like I'm hating on Goff, come on. I mean, you hear what you want to hear, but I'm not hating on Goff. I'm not telling you to get Goff out of town. I used to say that. Okay? I used to say that. When he first got here, I used to say I want him out of here on the first thing smoking. That's not what I say anymore, because with new evidence, you're allowed to change your opinion. As players evolve, you're allowed to change your opinion on them. So I would encourage a lot of people that have that stance, that spend a lot of time hating people or hating players because they had their first impression. Look at J-Mo. J-Mo was doing nothing, and then when he has his first real opportunity to do something, when Dan Campbell said, "You're our wide receiver number 2," he rattled off 1,000 yards receiving. So in his first major opportunity to do that, he did it, right? And now the hate is dissipating, and you expect him to continue to rise. That's just the way that it goes, unless a player is like Jeff "Oh Hell No" Kuda. Jeffrey "Oh Hell No" Kuda. Let me talk to you about this guy. This guy is trash as an NFL football player. Again, not talking about him as a human being. From what I've heard, he's a decent guy, I guess. But he was trash as a football player and never got any better. And now he's on the Texans as a special teams player. And then next season, he's probably going to be somewhere else. Although Easy's here, he says, although J-Mo had an interception too in that game, he did, and you gotta blame him for it, right? It was a dumb play, it was a dumb pass. Okay, that is the only play. If we're talking about Ben Johnson, that play is the only play I had a problem with, a real problem with. But then again, J-Mo also could have thrown it away. He could have made other decisions. He didn't make them. He also made a decision to hump the ground when he scored a touchdown out of sheer excitement, and he paid $25,000 for it. It's fine. It was a very expensive hump. I'll stop there. I'll stop there. I won't go further with that one. Speak Easy says, no, you're not a hater. Thank you, Easy. Thank you. All right. I think Broski loves I think he loves the torture, bro. Very expensive hump. Again, I will stop there. I could get into some other things, but I will not. So in the event that you guys are upset about the way this season unfolded, because you are, we all are, we're going to have to move forward. And I want all of the Goff factions to be able to come together. He's the quarterback of our football team. He is a very good quarterback. He can win a Super Bowl, or at least get you to the Super Bowl. We don't know what people can do until they do it, right? People would assume that you can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. People would assume that you can win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson. You can do anything, but until you do it, it's yet to be seen. Is that a knock on anyone? It's not a knock on anyone, right? Dan Marino was thought to be able to win a Super Bowl for his entire career until it ended. Then it was no more, you can win a Super Bowl with Dan Marino, because the reality is you never did, so you couldn't. That's just the reality. Has anyone in the chat seen the 5-part Made in America documentary on O.J. Simpson? It's been out for quite a few years, but it's fantastic. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. I'm going to check that out, Jody. Made in America. Only in America. Don King. So again, like, just going forward, it's I know it's a hot button topic, but it just goes to the points of ridiculousness. It goes from Jared Goff had nothing to do with any of that. Jared Goff didn't throw those interceptions. He was possessed by a demon, and the demon threw the interceptions, and it left his body after the game. Listen, let's lay blame where the blame should be laid, but that doesn't mean that, criticism is healthy, man. Constructive criticism is how people get better. Look at the whole Caleb Williams thing. I'll tell you, when I knew things in Chicago were going to be a disaster last year, was when I saw a clip. I didn't watch the Hard Knocks because I'm not a Bears fan. I didn't watch the Hard Knocks. When I saw a clip of Matt Eberflus sitting down with Caleb Williams, and they were saying something about the preseason game that he played in, the first preseason game, and he was like, yeah, well, what does that tell you? And Caleb was like, well, that's how he talks. That the game was better, is what we said, practice is harder than the game. And Matt Eberflus was like, yeah. And I'm like, are you serious, Matt Eberflus? You're letting this rookie come in here after a preseason game and tell you that the game is easier than practice. That's when I knew it was going to be a disaster. And Matt Eberflus was going to be fired. He was not going to be the coach of the Chicago Bears. Dave Jaremba says we need to stop comparing another team's rookie to our 9-year vet. I think y'all are doing that in the chat. I'm not doing that. Lamar was close. Close don't get it though. And what is it? Horseshoes and hand grenades. That's the only time close matters. Almost matters. Oh, is it, or maybe that was one of Broski Bear's things. Again, like I said, I'm not reading out Broski Bear. If you want people to hear what you have to say, put in a super chat, my guy. Put in a super chat. All right. So I have a question for the people. And I'll make it a poll. All right, let me get this poll in the chat. Okay, so that's the poll. What is most important for you regarding memberships, free stuff, or exclusive content? That is the question in the poll. So go ahead and get your votes in, so I can try to have a think about what we're doing here today. All right. The final talking points before we get to just the hanging out portion is going to be Coach Shep, because obviously I did a video about this. I think he got hired. Was it on Saturday? He got promoted. Sorry, not hired. He got promoted to defensive coordinator on Saturday. And my thoughts were that it is a hire that I'm excited about. It is a hire that I believe, or a promotion. Again, it's a promotion that I'm excited about. It is a promotion that I believe he was ready for. I don't think there was another choice. Losing, and whatever people want to say about it, is losing a guy like AG, a guy who the players loved. Remember, AG got voted as the coordinator that the majority of players would like to play for, right? He was number one. I think it was around the NFL. Losing someone like him was going to be hard to replace a guy from outside, a guy that the players weren't familiar with, so on and so forth. I believe that Kelvin Shepherd was promoted for two reasons. I think, I can't say if it was most importantly. I will just say these reasons were equally as important. One was his football knowledge, his football mind, his football acumen. I think it was Adam Gase that said he was like the smartest football player that he'd been around. And Adam Gase was an offensive guy. Say what you will about Adam Gase. He was an excellent offensive coordinator. He wasn't a good coach. And two was his familiarity with the players, right? His football mind, his football knowledge and acumen really stood out when you look at all the players that have come in, all the linebackers that have come in under Coach Shep, and they've gotten better and better and better. Coach Shep was the one that identified rookie Malcolm Rodriguez, sixth round rookie, didn't give a damn if he was in the sixth round because he was like, y'all aren't giving me enough to not have this rookie start over you. So this is a person who is going to command the respect of the entire locker room. He's already got that. The players already know how he goes about his business. He was running the meetings and stuff for a while. This is a guy that has his finger on the pulse of the defense, knows the needs of the defense, know what the defense can be and how they can be deployed when they're healthy. He doesn't have to come in here and figure anything out. This is a hire that is going to help the Detroit Lions hit the ground running. I think both of these hires were brought in for that reason. How do we not take a step back? How do we not have to introduce a bunch of new stuff and players have to get used to new systems and blah, 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 blah. There's players here that are going into year 3. They're going into year 4, going into year 5 of this system. And it's going to be a major setback if you have to rip everything out, tear it down to the studs, and start back from the beginning. So was this hire of Coach Shep deserved or promotion deserved? Yes, 100%. Was it also a promotion that was going to put our defensive side of the football in the best position possible? Yes, 100%. Right? Because you're not bringing someone in going, all right, Brian Branch, you played nickel, then you played safety. Now I want you to play some corner. No. Right? Now, obviously nickel corner, but I'm saying outside corner, right? Brian Branch is going to continue to develop in his role. Kirby Joseph, who just led the league in interceptions, is going to continue playing the way Kirby Joseph plays. Like I said, Dan Campbell said before, hey, I like playing man. I like blitzing and bringing pressure. Kelvin Shepard saw how we did that. Now, as I've said the same thing when we were talking about the possibility of Tanner Engstrand becoming the offensive coordinator. When you're learning under Ben Johnson, you're looking at some of the things that he did and you're going, well, I don't like that. So when I have my opportunity, I'm going to do it this way. I think Shep is going to be the same, right? Will he favor, a different type of coverage? Not that it's not man, but will he like to do more combo coverages? Will he like to do, more disguising? Well, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm sure Shep, while preparing, has been crafting his own, how do I put my stamp on this? Right? How do I put my stamp on this? How do I go from being the defensive coordinator to getting a head coaching job and have people like D'Amico Ryans, right? D'Amico Ryans was a linebacker in the NFL. Then he got promoted to defensive coordinator after Robert Saleh left to become the head coach of the New York Jets. Then Saleh wasn't doing great, and you wondered, well, is he a good coach or was it the system? Well, D'Amico Ryans goes over and he has the Texans in the playoffs back-to-back years. His first 2 years as head coach. He had his quarterback, which Saleh never really got, right? But you saw the identity of the defense just like you did with the Jets. They just didn't have the offensive side of the football. So Coach Shep is like, how can I put my stamp on this so people know it's not just me coming up in a system or whatever? So just like AG said that he wanted to be the greatest defensive coordinator in Lions history, I'm pretty sure Shep wants to do the same thing, right? So I don't think it was just about nepotism or anything of this nature. I think Shep earned it. I'm excited to see what Shep does. I'm excited to see what new wrinkles and new nuances he adds to this defense. And yeah, I'm excited, mostly so excited, so excited. If you know, you know, use the hashtag. I'm mostly excited to not have to see people saying fire AG anymore. All right, let's see what you guys got going on in the chat. Let's see. Jay Cruisen says I miss AG already. People who criticize playoff teams should at least be fans of teams who made the playoffs. Facts. 1985 was 40 years ago. Broski must be as old as F, hanging his hat on that rack. Well, that's what all the Bears fans do. Just like if you're a Lions fan and you want to start talking about championships, you got to go back to the 50s. Final piece. Is Shep the final piece? No, I think the final piece is it has to be on the field. Like between the white lines. I don't think the final piece is going to be a coach. I can't miss Ben Judas Priest, never. I feel you. Good hire. Hopefully in a couple of years he's getting HC coaching interviews. Get them third round picks and keep it moving. Not a huge fan of the Morton hire. Salty Pork Chops, why are you not a huge fan of the Morton hire? I got to tell you, I'd like to see what the format is going to be first, because there was a knock on him that he was interested in passing the ball, not interested in running the ball. But like I said before, you can't look at Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and be like, yeah, we need to give them less carries. That's what we're going to do. So, there's no such thing as final piece in this sports game. I would disagree. You may be one player away. You know, you could be a corner away that, you know, completely unlocks your secondary and allows him to you know, lock down one side of the field. So now defense or offenses are playing against, you know, the left side or the right side, and they're trying to stay away from him. Like, if it's a really impactful player, like we might be an edge rusher away from being a Super Bowl defense. You know what I'm saying? Brushy, well, that's basketball, you know, where you only have 5 players on the court. It's easier to be one player away when you're talking about basketball. Due to injuries, I mean, what if you don't have them? You know, what if you don't have the injuries? Like, we had the most awful run of injuries probably ever. So what happens if we don't have that happen? You know what I mean? And what happens also if, like, let's say you have an injury to your linebackers, but on your defensive line, everyone is intact, right? Couldn't you put some less valuable linebackers back there, which is what we had to do? You know, we had to put back the Trevor Nowaskis and the unfortunately bane of my existence, Ezekiel Turner's. You know, Trevor Nowaski was good. Ezekiel Turner was not. I think he made like a player or two in the Packers game, and after that, it was a wrap. You know, let's not forget, that Ezekiel Turner had the assignment of covering running backs coming out of the backfield, and he consistently turned down the assignment. He's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. 124 injuries total last season. That's a holdback. It wasn't 124 total, but I understand what you're saying. But I'm saying, what if we don't have that? That's my point. You never know what you're going to have going into a season. So if you go into a season and let's say you don't have that holdback, then you could definitely be one player away. You know, if we're just talking about the roster construction, I would say yes, you can be one player away. If you're talking about everything else that goes into it, whether it's the injuries, whether it's the other depth that you have because of the injuries, whatever the case may be, but I'm just talking about roster construction and what this team can do when it's healthy. 5 turnovers against the Redskins, and if Gibbs touched the ball 30 times, we win. Terrible play calling. I don't know that he's ever touched the ball 30 times. That would be a really, really, really heavy workload. Here, Brent DeWitt, I'll take this away. Take away the 5 turnovers and make it 2 turnovers. And give Gibbs the same amount of touches. I still think we win that football game. Excited for Hutch being back. It still upsets me watching that damn State Farm commercial talking about some Bundale Save. You ain't Bundale Save our season. Jake from State Farm, you know. Nowaski, Jack, Barnes, Rodrigo, Anzo healthy is a solid LB room. Yeah, but they weren't healthy. So we had Ezekiel Turner and Jamal Adams, you know. Yeah, 20 touches with less. I think he did have over 20 touches, or 20 at least, because he had some receptions as well. Bundaruski, Bundale do. What's up with Tony Romo? Fans want him fired after last night's commentary. Do you think he's that bad? But like I said, it was a public holiday in Australia yesterday. I didn't know about it, so I went out to work early, and then I went to the gym, and I didn't pace myself, so I did fall asleep in the last 5 minutes of the Kansas City game. I don't know. I don't know what's a fireable offense for a commentator. I mean, people watch Tom Brady and they're like, well, I don't really like him, but I don't know. I'd rather listen to Tom Brady than Greg Olsen. You know, Greg Olsen sits up there, they're like, no, I know they won by 25, but I really don't like the way that they used it. I'm like, bro, shut up, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like using the timeouts the way that they did here. I know they won by 57, but no, just stop. Stop complaining about the way people are using timeouts when they're winning. You know. So yeah, that's not something. I don't know with Tony Romo. Are you saying that Hendon Hooker is Morgan Freeman? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're saying? Tom Brady calling Daniels MVP. Well, you know, look, the Daniels, I can't even say the Daniels narrative, because Daniels had a great season. He did some great things as a rookie, and we'll see what people do next year to confuse him. I get it. I understand the media. The media always wants what's next. You want what's next because it it fuels the machine, right? If the NFL is always able to replace the talent and always have new talent in the pipeline, the NFL is never going to be like the NBA when they lost Jordan, right? Now, there was talent there. Iverson was coming in. You had McGrady. You had all these players, but it just didn't feel the same. So I think the NFL wants to avoid all of that. Right after Tom Brady, while Tom Brady was playing, you brought in Patrick Mahomes. Now Patrick Mahomes is here, and Patrick Mahomes has this cast of characters, that like Patrick Mahomes is like the Harlem Globetrotters, and you got the Ravens and the Bills who are like the Washington Generals. You know what I mean? Like they're always pit up against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they can't beat them. So you've got that dynamic going on, and then so you've got this young rookie coming in, just like C.J. Stroud. They wanted him to be next up. They wanted Jordan Love to be next up, and they're gonna keep throwing next up against the wall until something sticks. So we'll see what Daniels does next year. I think with Jordan Love and C.J. Stroud, they should have been able to see, hey, maybe we should pump the brakes, but they're not going to. They're going to keep telling you, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and you're going to have to eat it up. And they may be right, they may not be. But that's a risk they're willing to take. Apparently, Mahomes really needs to work on his sellies. It's bad when you get laughed at by old network guys. He spiked the ball and it went out of a camera frame. Yeah, he was trying to throw it. I don't know what he was doing. It kind of slipped out of his hands or something. Tom's job's not. I don't know, man. I just watch it. If you're not annoying me with your commentary, like Tony Romo does kind of get annoying at times. And like I said, Greg Olsen, I like Greg Olsen the least. I think it was probably because of he's always commenting about the Lions. He's like, Craig Olsen is like Teddy Bruschi in the booth when it comes to the Lions, and it just got old fast. And so I don't like listening to Greg Olsen anymore. Joe Buck is very boring. It's the whole Monday night tandem. They're not, great. Tom Brady used the term muddle huddle yesterday. Yes, he did. How does that make him a cuck? How does that make him a cuck? I think you need to look up the definition of that word. I remember Mark Sanchez. Yeah, Mark Sanchez recently returned to the booth for an Old Spice commercial. Yeah, Olsen is just mad because the Lions are winning in a way that he doesn't find conventional, just like Bruschi. You're only a GOAT one time. Okay, well that makes sense. So he can't be both the GOAT of football and the GOAT of broadcasting, right? So then that kills his prospects as a team owner, because he can't be a GOAT team owner either. All right, so most people are saying exclusive content. So give me some ideas of content that you guys would like to see, and because when I do the memberships, I'm obviously gonna have tiers. The free stuff tier was gonna be the higher membership, because I would use the money that you guys are paying for the memberships to give away stuff. So I can't. I'm not Mr. Deep Pockets like that. I don't claim to run 16 online businesses or, work 16 hours a day on my 37 businesses. Hashtag if you know, you know. But what kind of content would you guys like to see? Let me know. Hold on. All right, so TM says, I like Tom Brady's color commentary on Will Shipley gaining all those yards yesterday, though. It was funny. I'm clutching the ball tighter. Oh, God, I'm tired. Yeah, the oh, God, I'm tired thing. I was like, what is going on here? What are we doing? What are we doing at all with that? So. All right, so we're getting more into the free stuff. We're getting more votes for free stuff. I'm still leaning towards that the joke, which is becoming a reality, which was the fantasy football league. I'm not reading that one, J. Cruz. Just like I didn't elaborate on the expensive hump from J-Bo. I'm not reading that one. Let's see. Did we get the announcement yet? I don't see it from the score or nothing. Hold on. Let me see. All right. NFL coaching carousel tracker. The latest. It's still not saying that it's official. So, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know if let's see, where are these coordinators? Anyway, I haven't seen the official one. So like I said, man, give me some ideas. Because obviously it'll be for you guys, so it's what you want. What's your take on Hendon not getting the 2 snaps? You assuming the worst like most? I don't want to jump to that, but my logic says bust draft pick. It could have been that he wasn't progressing as to what. So I think it ultimately it stems from the same thing. He could be progressing along well, but not to the point where they wanted to put him into a playoff game. And it could have just been that you valued Teddy's experience more, so you figured if we gotta put in a guy, we put in the guy that's done this before, right? You don't want Hendon Hooker's first relief action to come in the playoffs. If it's a regular season game and Goff has to go out for a few plays, that's where you want to see Hendon Hooker. Because it's the regular season, there's less pressure, and he doesn't feel the pressure to perform. So he can go out there looser, and maybe he can lead a drive or two. Of course, he could have handed the ball off on that reverse, and they would have had the same touchdown that they got, with Teddy Bridgewater in there. 100% believe that if Hooker took over this team 2 years ago, he would be considered the better pick over Stroud. Dude has too much talent not to get a fair shot somewhere. And then again, maybe it's just getting your opportunity by learning and sitting behind someone else. This is what Rodgers had to do for a few years behind Favre. So he turned out decently. Now, here's a guy. Oh, okay. Yes. Chris Collinsworth. Yes. I don't like Chris Collinsworth. Chris Collinsworth is the worst. He is the worst. I'm leaning on that experience thing too and not jumping too hard about it. Odd, though, when Bridgewater just got off the bus and no play for a year. It's true, but it was, I guess it's like riding a bike. And you see, did he throw like one pass, one short out to the flats, and then after that, it was the JMO reverse for a touchdown? Yeah, he is the backup, but I'm saying in the playoffs, in the playoffs, right? Do you want basically a rookie quarterback coming in for your experienced vet, or do you want an experienced vet coming in for your experienced vet? That's the question. Let's say the Vikings were in the playoffs, and you've got J.J. McCarthy, he's available, and they're so excited about J.J. McCarthy, but this is J.J. McCarthy's first year in the NFL. Sam Darnold gets hurt. Do you think they're going Danny Dimes or J.J. McCarthy? Not Rob Parker. Nobody likes Rob Parker. I don't think that's the case, Artur. Dan Campbell has spoken glowingly about Hendon Hooker, and he's also talked about the reality of his situation as well. So I wouldn't say that. Who's to say Hooker isn't another Daniels? No one. Well, lots of people will say that, but we won't know until he gets an opportunity. But they were comfortable with him being the backup quarterback for the entire season, right? It wasn't until Teddy Bridgewater came in. They weren't out here looking to get another backup quarterback. So that's another thing. That's another angle for people saying that he's not any good or he's a bust or Dan Campbell doesn't think highly of him. He was the backup quarterback for the entire season. They let all the other options go. Now, were they good options? No, not at all. Not at all. It was a no-brainer to make Hendon Hooker the backup quarterback, but they didn't go out and sign a veteran because they didn't feel that Hendon could do it. Had Goff gone down at any point in the regular season, guess who was going in to get the snaps? Hendon Hooker. When it became the victory format or they, were blowing the team out and Goff got pulled for the entire fourth quarter, guess who went in? Hendon Hooker. So it's not, I don't think it's doom and gloom. I think doom and gloom would have been, hey, this guy sucks. We got to go get another backup quarterback today. Okay? So I don't think that was it at all. He said, my bad, didn't realize I was behind on the stream. Backups get basically 0 snaps with the team on the field. Throwing him out in a playoff game for the rest of the time is just plain mean. LOL, Bridgewater was a good QB too, and we wanted to get him a ring. Facts. Andre Rison is in Michigan working at the University Leggett High School interim football head coach. He could be a great guest. God, if you guys have any contacts to anyone like this, put me in contact with him. Hit me up in the Discord, and I'm still if anybody has any contact with Joique Bell, okay, we need to get on and ascertain the fact that we could be cousins. We need to do that. So put me in contact with anybody that you have contact with. You think they'll be a good guest? I'll definitely bring them on. I'm trying to work to get to, eventually I want to be able to have Lions players and personnel and things like that on the show. And I think I'm closer to that than it may seem, but yeah. Should Hooker be given a shot at starting or Goff naturally start? No, there's no quarterback controversy or quarterback competition. Goff never got hurt because it's fake. Okay. Hooker is going to be another Geno Smith at best. Why at best? Love Teddy Two Gloves, says Belinda Brown. What you think of Troy Aikman and Mike Tirico and Vilma? Vilma's not great. Vilma can't. Jamar Gibbs, that, But I do have, Vilma is responsible for one of my favorite calls because it made absolutely no sense. When Jahmyr Gibbs broke a Caleb Evans ankles, he was like, "Ooh," gives him the Skittles. I was like, "What are the Skittles?" Oh, he said Vilma's a hoe. Why is that? Mike Tirico. I mean, Mike Tirico to me is really one of the only people that's been saying good things about Detroit. I think he's from Michigan. So somebody said that he was talking crap. I think it was K ain't pressed. But y'all know K be trolling. So said Mike Tirico was talking crap about the Lions or something. I don't know. Troy Aikman. I think it's just with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck together. I just feel like that's a very, you listen to them when you're trying to go to sleep. That's why the Manning cast came out and a lot of people, Jay Cruz. Yeah, Teddy. I mean, hey, they scored with Teddy in there. Somebody was saying they should have kept Teddy in the whole game. I was like, no, they shouldn't have. Because he'll be pushing 30 and no other teams will want him until his contract is up. He'd have to get really lucky to get a starting job. That's why Geno Smith. I mean, but that's just a similar circumstance. What if he's, better than Geno Smith. Like skill set. and execution wise. For sure, just like they let the backups compete for Mahomes, Jackson, and Allen's job every offseason. Yep, just like that. SMFH at giant eye roll if you don't get irony. uh, Sick argument. You missed the kumbaya moment that I was trying to get all of the factions of the Detroit Lions, to come together on Goff. Do you think we will go to a Super Bowl under Jared Goff? I don't. Well, here's the question, Lion King. You know what Goff is, and you know what his limitations are and what his strengths are. Again, if anyone is overreacting to, and we want to call it playoff Goff or whatever, again, just look at, yes, he does have 9 touchdowns and 10 interceptions overall in the playoffs. But last season in the NFC Championship game, he had no interceptions. He had no fumbles. He didn't turn the ball over one time. And we didn't lose that game because of Goff. So that's my thing. Like, it's possible. Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Right? He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to 2 NFC Championship games. So, I mean, it's there. The Goff Accords. He might be, but like I said, he'll have to get lucky to be a starter, and not to mention have a team commit to him. I mean, he'll get the 2-year deals and things like that. He just, I don't know. I don't know when he would have an opportunity to show what he can do. That's the thing. Need a producer to help book guests. If you want to be my producer, I mean, there's no pay yet. But see, I'm different. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna tell you I'll pay you and then I won't. That's just not how I get down. I don't do that. Some people do it, but that's not me. Lions got too comfortable and lost. Fake number 1 seed. They should be ashamed of themselves. Shakers. Allen and Jackson have been to 12 playoffs, no Super Bowl appearance. It's just insane brain work, man. I mean, this game is harder, man, than a lot of people think. It's one winner every year. But with the Lions being in now, if you said the Lions are just like the Bills or the Lions are just like the Ravens, if we're in that upper echelon top tier of teams, then there's always a possibility. And we know all we got to do is get one crack at Mahomes, because Goff is undefeated versus Mahomes. There is that. Tarico's wife is from Michigan. Okay. Well, I do what I can, Jay Cruz. Okay, in the NFC Championship game, we did rush for 150 yards in the first half. So you don't have to throw a lot of TDs when you're rushing that well. Goff has played in 4 healthy playoffs too. He went to the conference finals and won Super Bowl, something nobody else but Hurts has done. Um, yeah, because he wasn't healthy. That what he had to come back in for John. What was his name? John Warford, who McVay put in for him after he was recovering from thumb surgery. But he still won that game. Saquon is to the Eagles as blank is to the Lions. I mean, what one player has been that impactful to the Lions? Let's think. If we're talking about a free agent acquisition, I mean, the one player that you could only say Barry Sanders. That's it. Sick argument. No, I wouldn't even say Goff. Goff did not come here and immediately do that. Right? Goff can't do what Goff does without weapons. And when he came to the team, he didn't have them. Right? So I'm saying that one acquisition that came in and like did everything on his own. We take argument. It's a apples to apples comparison. We don't know what Barkley came in 1 year and was the difference from them getting eliminated in the wild card round to going to the Super Bowl. Barkley came in 1 year and had a 2,000-yard season. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about what Saquon Barkley's effect is in 1 year. We do not know what he will do next year or the year after. We don't know that. We don't know what he's going to do in his, contract. I was surprised that he stayed healthy. But we're talking about for the Lions. We're not talking about for just other teams. We're talking about the Lions. The question is, Saquon is to the Eagles as blank is to the Lions. So this is why I was looking for a Lions player. JSJ says, what I learned from that loss, Gibbs is the X factor for the Lions. I can't disagree. Lions King. No, I'm not a Goff lover. I'm just looking at it from. Look, as I said before, I used to be a Goff hater. I wanted Goff out of here. When his first year here, didn't like him, didn't want him on the team. I thought he was trash. But I saw him evolve, right? And with new information, you can change your opinion, right? So I do understand that Goff has what he needs to succeed here. That's it. That's all I'm saying. He didn't lose us the NFC Championship game. He had a bad game in the divisional. Both things are true, and they can be true. Now Commanders fans want to be friends? No. We can't be friends. Yeah, this year Barkley had was on another level. DeAndre Swift was not good enough for the Eagles. That's why he left. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Chicago Swift. Uh, Sick argument. What did you think about Lamar Jackson's game? See, this is what I meant. This is what I meant by this is what I was saying at the beginning. It's okay to say someone who turned the ball over 4 times had a bad game. It's okay. But then when I say it like that aggressively, then people want to say that I'm hating. I'm not. It's okay to criticize the person for turning the football over 4 times. It doesn't mean that you're a hater. It doesn't mean that they're a bad player. It's okay. You can have a bad game. If you're going to sit here and say other people deserve to be mocked, you not admitting that Goff had a bad game after committing 4 turnovers is wild. It is wild. No, he didn't have 4 turnovers. He did not fumble the football and throw 3 interceptions. No, he didn't have 4 turnovers. You're right. That does 3 plus 1 doesn't equal 4. Okay, take away the last one. Fine. He had 3 turnovers. He had 3 turnovers in a time that we were able to win the football game. And the last one was just a junk play. That's fine. 3 turnovers in the first half. I don't understand. Like, sick argument. I don't understand why it is such a problem to say. Like, we're not allowed to criticize players. But if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I said this before, if Amon-Ra St. Brown did not slip on that first fumble, then we're probably having a completely different conversation. But he did. And that led to the fumble. It's a broad and unnuanced take. Okay. I don't know football. So when I see a person turn the football over 3 times in a period of time, I love Lamar Jackson too. But you know what? I can't say that his 2 turnovers didn't hurt his team. Now, there's a bigger argument in that game to say that Lamar didn't lose the game because he literally had Mark Andrews fumble, and then he literally had a chance to tie the game, and Mark Andrews dropped the 2-point conversion wide open in the end zone. All right, I'm going to put a poll up. I'm going to put a poll up. I'm going to put a poll up, bro. Hold on. Don't go anywhere because I just want to see. I just want to see. It's not a narrative. Sick argument. If you listened to what I said in the beginning, if you were here from the beginning, okay, it is not a narrative. What I'm telling you is that it is okay to say that someone didn't play well, whether it was for a quarter, whether it was for a half, whether it was for the entire game. If you do not play well and you put your team behind the 8 ball, and you have a defense that's completely decimated and can't stop the offense really, then you have to play better. You can't afford the turnovers. You can't. If we had listen, if we had 2 turnovers in that game, we probably would have won. Thank you, JSJ. John Doe, what up, though? Is this independent Aquaman's other account? I don't know. I think he would have unsubbed already if it was his other account. I can at least give a sick argument the you know what I can at least compliment him on staying to argue his point, I guess. When are we trading for Max? I don't know, man. Bro, I'm so tired of the Max Crosby arguments, like articles. Like, I saw an article the other day talking about, Max Crosby rouse up the Lions fans again with a cryptic tweet. I was like, bro, what are we talking about? They'll wish that they would have treated you better when times were tough. The snakes will, or the fakes will always be revealed or something like that. And Lions fans that are following Max Crosby went over there thinking he was talking about leaving the team. And it's like, okay, I guess that's a cryptic tweet. Go over there and tell him to come home and all these things. I don't know. All right, sick argument. So, is Jared Goff okay? And I'm glad you mentioned that play. If you watch the NFC Championship game, you watch Frankie Louvu, I think it was, knife through the line and grab the hell out of Jalen Hurts' arm. Guess what he did? Squeezed the ball and got out of it. Ball security is especially in the pocket, is your responsibility. Maybe he didn't lose a fumble all year. That's fine. But you lost it this time. And that's what happened. You lost the fumble. You did that. It's fine. It's okay. That doesn't make him a bad player. It is not a narrative. You lost the fumble. Seriously. It's like Goff is your son or something. Like and that's where people get upset. He lost a fumble in a time that he couldn't afford to lose it. He lost a fumble. It's okay. You lose games. It's okay. It happens. Every single year, there are 32 teams competing for a Super Bowl, and only one of them gets it. It's fine. It's okay. All right, sick argument. We'll see you. Bye. Yeah, now I'm a casual. Okay. All right, sick argument. Peace out, man. Oh my God. If Josh Allen was on this current Lions team, he would beat Patrick Mahomes. Here's my question. Here's my question to everyone else in the chat. If Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, every quarterback on all the 31 other quarterbacks, if on that 3rd and 1 they fumble the football, would it be their fault? Would it be okay to say it's their fault? Would it be okay? Because for whatever reason, there are people like Sick Argument who believe that Goff had nothing to do with any of those turnovers. So if it was Patrick Mahomes, would that have been a fumble that he lost? Did he lose the fumble? Or was it someone else's fault? John Doe, what I think of Morton, I'm taking a wait and see approach. I believe that, he was familiar with the offense. Dan Campbell did say that some of the things that he did when he was here, we took it, we kept it. So I'm taking a wait and see approach from him. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things. But does it excite me? No. All right, I'm a results oriented sick argument. So, sorry to see you go, but you gotta. If that's what you gotta do, you gotta do it. I can't sit up here and just be asinine about the whole entire thing. You listen, you can play a phenomenal game and the game could be 52-52. Right? And you can throw a pick six as your first interception, as your first incompletion. And you lose that game 58-52. Does it matter that you played a phenomenal game for the entire time? But, it was just that one pick six. Yeah, that one pick six lost you the game. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand, bro. JSJ, my take on the new DC and a change at OC. Sorry if I missed you speaking on that earlier. You did, but basically in a nutshell, I was just saying that I'm excited about this Shep hire. I believe that he deserved it. And also the players love him. The players respect him. So he's a leader of men. He's going to command that locker room, no problem. And I think while he's going to have the same philosophies as AG, because Dan also enjoys those philosophies, blitzing and playing man, that he's going to probably put his own spin on these things. Hey, Jody Carruthers, I appreciate you with the $10 super chat. She says, because you are awesome, chef. Thank you. I try to be awesome. I try to be awesome. Jay Cruiser says there's no window with my failing mentality. I don't think we make the playoffs next season. Too many changes. So what really, I think that the changes that we have are for us to avoid that situation. That's why we kept it in-house and close to in-house for both of the coordinator replacements. But again, I'm still not seeing this as official. Hold on. Oh my God, the Detroit Pistons are showing interest in Lonzo Ball. All right, well, we'll see how that works. Yeah, I don't have anything official yet, so we'll see. I don't know if I'll probably just do a short or something if he gets announced as official, but I don't see it. Bro, this is why I started off the show the way that I started it off, and I wanted to have that conversation because this it just doesn't make sense. Like, this is the type of stuff I was seeing this weekend, and it is fine. Like, I have children. We all have children, right? I love my kids, but I can admit when they do something wrong, That doesn't mean I hate them. That doesn't mean I want them to go away or I want them to be traded to some other family. You know what I'm saying? I'll trade you my kid for your kid. No. You like, people make mistakes. People mess up. It's okay to talk about it. It doesn't mean you're a hater. Yeah, I don't think that we would miss the playoffs. Some jackass I know said that the Chiefs wouldn't make the playoffs this season. And a 15-2 regular season record later, number 1 seed and the bye, now going back to their 3rd Super Bowl in a row. I guess that person was wrong. Do I think the Lions will draft another cornerback? That is an interesting question. Brad Holmes expressed interest, lots of interest in bringing back Carlton Davis. So if they do, I can see it happening in the later rounds. I don't think it. I think what the Lions need to do, and I know this isn't going to happen, but I think they just need to go all defensive line. I just every pick you got, put it in the defensive line. Don't care. My bad, Bondi. I missed your comment. I saw it earlier, but I think I was crashing out. 4 turnovers is crazy work for an elite QB. 3 is just as bad, says TM. Right. I saw Bondi come in. Let me see. What was your comment? Bondi. And now I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Okay. No, it was just a see, Sean McVay screwed us if no Super Bowl win. Broski, are you still here being cheap? Oh, we could do this all day, broski. You're not used to this. Put your money where your mouth is, sir. Sir. Put your money where your mouth is, sir. I don't even have any insurgent friends, sir. Hashtag if you know, you know. Use the hashtag. All right, we are 13 super chats away from doing our live mock draft. 13 super chats away. The super chats of any color, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a big one. It could be the smallest one, whatever you want it to be. Gonna try to have a guest on. Again, guys, if you guys have any, you know, maybe your cousin knows somebody who knows Barry Sanders. If I can get Barry Sanders on my podcast, I will. That will be the last day I ever podcast. No, that would be silly. I mean, that would be an incredible opportunity lost. The momentum that my podcast would gain after interviewing Barry Sanders would be awesome. What's up with the Lions fans being in love with the Lions lately? So it's different things. The Bears want to be us so badly that they're just seeking out. And they, you know what? I can't even. I'm gonna say something nice about Chicago. Chicago has some pretty decent content creators. They got a pretty decent. They have kind of like a Woodward Sports type of thing. It's not. It's more guys sitting around in a living room type of setting, but it's a really nice set. They've got, Lance Briggs is on there and Alex Brown. I think they've got another former player on there. I can't remember his name right now, but they've got media members, and you know what I'm saying? They do it. They do it pretty well over there. So it's not that they don't have the stuff like the Lions do. I think the Lions have the best creators and things of that nature. So, Chicago has a pretty thriving. Well, I don't know if it's creator community. I just know that one thing that I said, which is like Woodward Sports, they have that. So I don't know, I don't know. But I mean, it's more likely to catch me crashing out with one of our own fans than it is with rival fans, which is crazy. It's crazy. A sugar cookie, man. This is crazy. I'm a rapper. I'm not a sugar cookie getter. K ain't pressed. That's all he does. Jay Cruisin says, maybe I'm too ahead of myself. I'll look for patience. Oh, man. Jay Cruisin, man. Jay Cruisin. Yes, I've heard that Chicago does have good nail salons. So, Caleb is currently making appointments and sampling the ones to see which ones are going to fit into his game day routine next season. Bro, if he really wants to troll people, this dude needs to have his nails painted with "I love BJ." Like he just and just be walking around like this. That would be the ultimate troll job. And the love will be just a heart. So, But I wouldn't know nothing about that, Jay Cruisin. Nothing at all. You can't bend a glizzy to represent his Johnson. Whatever sick argument, man. There's nothing to say to you. The only thing that I can say is Goff and Allen will both be watching from home as Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes compete in the Super Bowl. However they got there is how they got there. But that's what happened. Okay? Neither me nor any Bills creator will be streaming the Super Bowl, as I will be streaming it, but not as a participant, right? My team won't be participating. So whoever's fault you want, if you want it to be Ben Johnson's fault, if you wanted to be not Jared Goff, because nothing's Jared Goff's fault. If you wanted to be Jamo's fault, if you wanted to be Amon-Ra St. Brown's fault, if you wanted to be Dan Campbell's fault, if you wanted to be Dan Miller's fault of Fox 2, if you wanted to be Braylon Edwards' fault, if you wanted to be Barry Sanders' fault, or Calvin Johnson's fault, if you wanted to be Lomas Brown's fault, anybody's fault other than Jared Goff, that's fine. But the thing is, the Detroit Lions will not be playing in the Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions are not at home getting ready to play in the Super Bowl. So, call me a casual all you want. That's fine. All right? As a casual, that's all I understand. I only understand that this team is not in the Super Bowl. That's all. Okay. So we can agree on that. Jay Cruz says, I went to the stores in person. It was wild AF. Sick argument about to make me go Bill Cosby, bro. Like, he's about to make me go Bill Cosby. You cannot say Goff in front of people. Okay. It's because G-Mac Cash didn't make a song for the divisional. That's why we lost. Of course, G-Mac Cash. Of course it was G-Mac Cash. Damn it, G-Mac Cash. So here's the thing that went wrong. Amon-Ra St. Brown slipped in his route, which startled Jared Goff, which caused him to climb the pocket. And then someone took the ball away from his hands. I can't say that he lost a fumble. Someone took the ball from his hands. And then the interception that he threw, the pick six, where Sam LaPorta was wide open, the demon that was possessing his body didn't allow him to throw it to Sam LaPorta. It caused him to sail the ball over Tim Patrick's hands into the waiting arms of their safety. Gotta protect Goff for 4 years, is what I've been hearing. Yes, you have to protect all quarterbacks, right? Any quarterback that you can't protect, you're gonna, it's gonna cause some friction. It's going to cause some friction. Yeah, at this point, put independent Aquaman at tackle. Independent Aquaman, we hardly knew ye. But look, man, like I said, I gotta give Sick Argument respect for just, standing in and arguing his point, because the whole not trying to understand what I was saying and then unsubbing by Independent Aquaman was crazy. Mega Hustle, no, don't say that. Don't say that. You can't say that. Goff is beyond reproach. You should know that by now. I didn't miss your point in Sick Argument. You missed my point. That was it. It doesn't matter how much of the game when you turn the ball over 4 times, it's not going to help you win. We got spoiled because Goff turned the ball over 5 times in a win. We got spoiled, and I guess we thought that was supposed to continue to happen, but it didn't. It didn't. And regardless of what you want to say, the circumstances of a turnover, it still counts as a turnover. Right? Lamar Jackson turned the ball over 4 times in the regular season and 2 times in the postseason. And those 2 times in the postseason were costly. Were they as costly as the Mark Andrews drop and the Mark Andrews fumble? I don't know, maybe. I said in a win. I was talking about the Texans game, bro. Come on. Oh, it's fun. It's fun. It's really fun. That's what I said. I said he spoiled us because he turned the ball over 5 times in a win, but it's not supposed to happen. When you turn the ball over 4 times, you're not going to win the football game. And I said he spoiled us because he did it 5 times in a win. That's all. All right, people, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Even you, Independent Aquaman. I'm sorry, Sick Argument. I appreciate everybody for hanging out, stopping through, even Broski Bear. I mean, listen, you guys in the chat, when Broski Bear comes in and he's talking this nonsense, just make sure, tell him, pay up. Pay up. Get your ish off if you want. Pay up. That's all that has to happen. If you want to drop some ducats in the bucket, then F it. I'll read it. You know what I mean? All good, sick argument. All right, people. Once again, Motor City Cats back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. This is sucks, Jaden Daniels. Yes, it all sucks. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we are out of here. Deuces.